And my backdrop finally drops in. God, I still don't know why it takes an extra 5 seconds for that backdrop to resolve. But anyway, here we are. Good morning, everybody. Okay, Thomas Ogden, g'day. He's joined us on
G'day.
the Discord live chat, and so is our friend Luke. He's just popped away to get himself a libation.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is. Family-friendly channel. We won't talk about alcohol consumption, but that's what he's doing. What, you get a glass of wine, did you?
Yes, sir.
What is it, a red or a white? Come on. I hope it's a red.
Red.
Good, yeah. What's it?
It's red.
No. Oh.
Right. So it's evening for you. So what, a Shiraz? A Cabernet Sauvignon? Or is it just a box red?
Rose.
What is it? Is it just a box
Yeah,
red?
Red rose. No, it's not box,
Red-
but
Red
Yeah.
table wine.
Red table wine. So that's just usually a Shiraz, I think. What is it? Spicy? What?
it's kind of in between. It's not too sweet. It's not too dry.
Okay,
Pretty
so
good wine.
That's more like a Merlot, I think.
That's a little hard.
Hello?
Merlot. Well,
Even
Australians are so used to the names, But anyway, so you get yourself a glass of red wine. I got myself my water. I probably don't have enough to get to me through the day, but we'll see how we go. So yeah, we got IJ Sherwin. G'day IJ, how you doing? Robert Mack in Asia, he's joined us as well. G'day Robert. Mark Koo, good morning. And Mark Verdun, Robert Casper, 3 Jazz, g'day, how you doing 3 Jazz? And Chris Brand. I haven't seen Chris on here for quite some time. How you doing, Chris? Anyway, so yes, things have been. Oh, look, last week. I knew it's always something I don't do. What was my topic for today? God, it's. Let me just. Okay, so let me just Control C. Let me put that in there. Topic for today. There's always something I don't do. God. Control V. Done. There we go.
I thought it was the 7K subscribers that you're celebrating today.
Yeah, this week today, it's this week in Thailand, and the 7K channel update. Yeah, so we finally made 7K, 7,000 subscribers on our channel, so it's all good. We got 7,040 already, so that was earlier this week. I think what was the date that happened? I think it was Monday or Tuesday. Came around pretty quickly as well. This channel's only really averages about 100 subscribers per month on a growth rate. There's been a fairly consistent growth of 100 subscribers per month. Or I should actually sort of say, people don't understand how it really works. You get 100 subscribers, 150 a month joining, and then you got the attrition rate, which probably you lose 50. So, only 2/3 stick around every month. You've got your core, you've got your new people coming in, checking it out, kicking the tires, and then they click off and they're looking at something else and they unsubscribe because it's just too much noise. That's the trouble with the YouTube; it creates too much noise, and Anyway, so you get what they call a churn rate. So my churn rate left me at about 100 subscribers a month. But since for about the last 6 to 8 weeks, we've actually seen that number's bounced up to 250 to 300, and it varied between 250 to 300. So all I can say is something's changed in the algorithm, and I have no idea what they've changed in the algorithm, but suddenly they start putting my videos in front of more people, which people are starting to like. Because I can't honestly see anything different in my videos. I just think it's that time of the year. We always sort of see an uplift in video watching across the winter period in the Northern Hemisphere, I suppose, because there's nothing really decent on TV. But you know how it works. YouTube is the new TV, and people can sort of be selective of what they want to watch. Yeah, thanks, Chris. 7K, good effort. Yeah, Magic Dude, g'day. Let's keep leaving him at Magic Dude. Harry and our Magic Dude. Tommy J, he's there as well. Dilbo Baggins, good morning for you, from Mr. Baggins. Mr. Baggins. I actually watched they've actually re-released the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings again in 4K, and they've rehashed it all. It's a director's cut, extended play. So I've just spent the last week watching that again, and it was really quite enjoyable, and everything's been unified across the edit. So they've used the same visual effects, the same technologies to enhance all the pictures and the frame shots. And yeah, so I spent, was it 3, 6, 9, so it's about 10 hours of The Hobbit and about 12 hours of Lord of the Rings. It was a bit of a binge watch this week. That was a lot of fun. What else have we got? Hey, Richie Kingstar, so let's go catch that one. Where's I got? Robert Groves. G'day, Robert, how you doing? Paul in Sydney, he's also joined us there. We got the usual crowds jumped in and said hello. Hey brother, and so we turned that 7K, and things are still stabilised at about 275 subscribers per month jumping on. So, probably April time we may even make 8,000 subscribers. Who knows? If things keep on going that way. Unless, of course, there must be another magic number in the back end of YouTube, nobody really knows how this shit works, which you get up to a certain level and they start sort of seeing your watch time and everything else. And maybe it's this influx of all the wannabe channels. Oh, God, the amount of influx of everything, it's ridiculous. And, there we go. Here's to another 7K before the end of the year. Thanks, X and I. Thanks very much for your kind contribution, and it should go ting-a-ling-a-ling in a second. Gold, thank you. Gold, thank you. Button coming soon. A gold TY button. What's a gold TY button? There's that little
thank
thing.
You.
No, so I think he's talking about the silver plaque in YouTube land.
Maybe he went. Oh, he did mean YT button, YouTube button.
Yeah, there is a. I think there's a bronze, a silver, and a gold. I don't know if there is a bronze. I think it goes silver and gold. I really don't. That's a long way off. It'd be nice to get there one day, but when it's taken 4 years to get to 7K, I think I'll be dead before I get to 100. But you know how it goes. It's not about those numbers. It's about sort of producing videos, and hopefully sort of maybe my video style is just just been fine-tuned enough to actually make it more watchable. I don't know. I tend to think I talk too much, but I try to avoid doing the other stuff, which is like I was talking to Sonny again last night, and we were just comparing. And out of the last 10 videos that I've done compared to what he's done, shows the fact that all my videos are still monetized, but he only had two of his monetized because he uses commercial music. And that's what makes his videos stand out, is he always picks the right music for the right scene. And unfortunately, all that music is subject to copyright, and it goes to somebody or other else. So I tend not to use music. The only music ever I do, I've got rights to use the intro piece from Fat Rat. So that does me. And if I want to put another piece of music in, I go and search the YouTube library. And that stuff's really not fun. It's just not. And I got Luke's TV in the background. Luke, your TV's on in the background.
I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, I am. But there we go. It's all right. He's turned it off. No, it's not so much. No, probably wasn't a turn. There was just there was a lot of a lag there. I think it might have been just the loop lag. He was feeding back through his microphone, probably. But yes, where are we? Sort of, yeah. So we'll get on to the Thailand stuff. How's the Thailand lockdown going on? Okay, here's the first piece. Let's get on to some of the news. We've done the big promo thing about the 7K. I think that's enough of that shit. Okay, so the news articles. Here we go. This is the one that caught my eye first in this morning. ASQ and vaccine in Thailand proposal gets the thumbs down. This is the big article that was published about, 10 minutes ago from the Tiger. A spokesman from Thai Tourism Association came up with the cunning idea. He had a cunning plan. So Baldrick in the Thai Tourism Association, Mr. Baldrick come up with a ASQ vaccine package proposal for travellers of tourists. So not only do you get a 14-day mandatory quarantine at an expensive hotel in Thailand or in Bangkok, the opportunity to submit copious amounts of paperwork and drill through the red tape. Now you get a jab of COVID-19 vaccine included, all for this one-time low starting price of 150,000 baht. Yes, I'll buy that for $1. Jesus Christ, where do they come up?
$5,000 between friends.
What a bargain? Not. Really, come on. Of course, Tiger readers and viewers raced to congratulate the rocket scientists who came up with this brilliant piece of tourist marketing. Suffice it to say, it's dead in the water even before the ambulances arrive. You've got to love these guys. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mitch. And Warren Theoret, how are you doing? Good to see you back here again. So here's some of the comments from the readers. Until they ditch the 14-day mandatory quarantine and end the ineffective lockdowns, Thailand will not get tourist numbers. They are in dire need to stabilise the economy. And this is the thing, like the tourism industry is hurting severely right now. And every week there's a new proposal about how they can improve it. There is only one answer. You need to buy 120,000 doses of a vaccine. You need to inoculate the total population here in Thailand. 120,000, 120 million doses of vaccine. Right, so far I think they've ordered 70 million. So they're planning to inoculate half the Thailand population. Stuff any Farang living here, we have not even. There has been no word whatsoever of what to do with the Thailand expats that live here, or even the foreigners. Like one of these expats. Don't forget, we call ourselves expats, but if you're living if you come from Myanmar and you're working in Thailand, you're an expat. If you come from Laos and you're working in Thailand, you're an expat. If you come from Cambodia or Vietnam or even China and you're working in Thailand, you're an expat, and that comprises 80% of the expat population, which we quite often forget. But yeah, so and that's like this. I think the numbers are like 10 million Thailand residents are expats, and we as Westerners probably complies in like 0.1% maybe. That's the reality of these numbers, and we just get lumbered into that shit. But there's been no word for that 10 million workforce that we got here in Thailand of what's going to happen with their vaccine or their dosing. And quite frankly, most of them are from Myanmar, and that's what I mean. The xenophobia we're dealing with now is actually sort of almost notable. I'm noticing it now. There's a guy from Myanmar that does the what's that shit I had last night? I felt peckish. Roti. There's a Myanmar guy comes in and he's got a little stand. He makes roti. I just take the normal roti, which is the egg with the the pastry thing. You can have fruit and other stuff thrown in it, but I just take the egg one. But it's almost like people just 2 months ago, people all throughout the evening are buying roti from him. But now nobody even hardly goes to his stand. I don't problem. I got my mask on. I'm good. I'm pretty sure you're good as well. But I don't know how they do. People he's from Myanmar. I'm not going to buy from him. That's the way it goes. It's quite crazy. But yeah, so it's quite. I'm starting to notice. Like if you're sort of seeing somebody who looks, sort of darker skin. And why are they being avoided? It's almost noticeable now on the street, and this is not good for Thailand, considering the amount of people from Myanmar actually work here in the what to call the I wouldn't even call it blue collar sector. I'd call it the pop-up market sector, which is quite extensive throughout Thailand. But anyway, getting onto these, another brilliant idea for tourists, in which will be dead on arrival. Do these people live in No, they don't live in any reality. They're in a stratified society. I'm pretty sure that the rooms that they have a different oxygen feed, and they also put nitrous oxide in that feed as well. It's just like laughing gas, because they're always happy about something and nothing ever makes sense. Talk about stratified society. It's one of those things you have to deal with here. Tourism will not return until the 14-day quarantine is gone. Get the vaccine out to the Thai people. Then start with allowing tourists without quarantine that have been vaccinated. This would be a start, a smart way to open, and get it done by April 1st, before Songkran holiday. Yes, definitely, Rick Danga. Definitely, that's a great plan. It's not going to happen, of course. Chris Brown, look, totally agree with you. Vaccines aren't a cure, but the vaccines that are being produced at the moment are a way to get to a sort of point in time where our system can deal with it. It's just it is totally ludicrous what's going on out there at the moment. What else we got? Just making sure I'm not missing anything. Oggy, you can keep an eye on the feed there. Make sure that I'm not missing anything. There we go. Paul D. Hello, Tiger Team. The story with regards to vaccination tagging on the special tourist visa seems to be another of Thailand's false hope stories. Not suggesting that the Tiger is responsible for this, but I'm sure the government powers may have overlooked the strong suggestions many airlines have voiced that no traveller will be allowed on the flight unless they have proof of vaccination. Even this is not 100% at this point. Some countries will not even allow their citizens to leave right now. I think Thai government, even though they are doing as much as they can right now, needs to not provide false hope for travellers. Yeah, look, we've just had a change of hands, a change of guard in America, and I think, Olgie, you can probably confirm this one here. He's forcing all inbound travel for 14-day quarantine now, and he's reinvigorated the vaccination program. He's basically mandated all masks in American civil service. I don't know if it's across the whole across all 50 states, but he's mandated all civil service have to wear masks, or well, I'm not quite sure what the fines are, but he's taken a hard line with it, which is obviously going to sort of rock the boat of the,
Can't mandate masks on non-federal properties, so he has mandated masks on all U.S. federal properties, which means any federal courthouses, any federal facilities, he can mandate that.
Yeah, so and that's all he can do. Unfortunately, it's the way America runs. But he's taken a new angle, a new line, definitely sort of a different line that Trump had about how we're going to deal with this shit, and he's basically forcing everything to sort of go at at a business pace to get the vaccinations out to people. The trouble is the vaccination. It's one thing. It's going to help you to cope with the virus, but even vaccinated people, as with the flu virus, the vaccinated people can still carry the virus. And there, I'll have to go to my Facebook page and find the actual things. Just hold on it. I don't like to sort of give false hope to anybody, but I did post something last week. Where is it? Which was
I killed myself.
You killed yourself again? Did you? Right. So if we go over here, let's just look at it. Sizing up the shots. There is currently 6 vaccines on the planet. The Oxford University AstraZeneca. It's a viral vector, genetically modified virus. So they're shooting you up with a genetically modified virus, which will produce an immune response. Right. So preparing your body. It's similar to what they do with the flu virus. The Pfizer BioNTech, the technology of the microRNA, the newer microRNA technology tricks the body into making a viral protein itself, which in turn triggers an immune response, the efficiency of 95%. It's $4 per dose versus $20 per dose. I don't have the numbers of what we've ordered here. I think we've got 3 different. We've got the Sinovac, which is the one coming in from the Sinovac. That's the one.
The China one, right?
Chinese one. That's right. There's the Chinese first. Yeah, inactivated virus. So they've taken the virus. This is what China's been using internally. And they were quick to sort of isolate the viral vector. And then they've cultured that virus and made it inactive again to make an immune response, 50-70% effectiveness. Major buyers: Indonesia, Philippines, at $5 a dose. The Sputnik 5 is antiviral vector-based platform. So again, it's similar to a flu virus. Antiviral. So I'm not quite sure what antiviral means, but it's
adenoviral.
Adenoviral. So say it right. Help me. Adenoviral. So it's sort of similar to what we do with a flu virus. They've isolated it. They've genetically modified it to give you an immune response. Again, different countries buying that. $10 a dose. There's the microRNA technology from Moderna. Again, same as the Pfizer one. Where if I was going to be choosing one, I'd be looking at the microRNA one if I had a choice. But again, we're not going to get any choice over here. And of course, the one that hasn't got much airplay at the moment is Johnson & Johnson. Technology uses a cold virus. So I thought that was amusing. So they're going to use a cold virus to deliver genetically modified material from the coronavirus into the body to prompt an immune response. We don't know what this efficiency is, still in final phase testing. But
it's a single dose.
It's a single dose. So again, that'll help things because currently we're sort of seeing about that we're seeing a proportion of people out there reluctant to go in for the second dose, and these things have been designed about having a second dose 30 days after the first dose, and I think even
I
England,
think that Johnson doesn't require refrigeration either, at least not heavy like the others do. So they're expecting it to be an easier sell to the provider's offises.
Sort of make it easier to get it out there.
Go in once, get the shot, you're out.
Yeah. But look, we're going to have to face the fact that this is a virus. It will be around forever, right? The only way to solve what we needed to solve, that needed to be done when China did it. Isolate, lock down, right? Let it run its course through the population, prevent travel, because the virus back then only survived in human beings. If you cut off the head of the snake, it would have been eradicated from the population completely. Right now we're just seeing the fact that versions of the virus are being transmitted between in-house pets, dogs and cats, and I think there was another pet that they found. I think I was reading the other week that it's actually been found in monkey populations. So the virus is doing what viruses do. It is modifying itself as it goes through its vector stages, and we still could face the fact it's going to land in a rabid dog. It's going to modify itself, and then we'll finally have the walking zombies running around like we had in World War Z. Yes, yes. That's right. We get any hope, can't we? Yeah, get out the spikes, get out the swords. We'll just cut the head off the snake that way. Anyway, getting back to that. Anyway, what fun things have I been missing on the chat there, Oggy?
Starting with the lawyers.
Yeah, starting with
Always
the lawyers.
start with the lawyers.
Okay, so we've been talking about that. I don't want to talk about the COVID-19 shit because YouTube have issues about that stuff as well. What have I missed in the chat? Can we sort of get a quick... Anything I've missed? I haven't seen anything at Warren. That's what I was looking for, which is what I...
Really nothing. It's just everybody talking about what we were talking about.
Yeah, so everybody's going to have their idea about it. Look, we're going to have to face the fact that we are not going to get rid of this virus. Once we've got an antiviral in the population and regular yearly updates like we do with the flu virus, people will just have to live with it. Yeah, we're going to have people die. We're going to have people get sick and have lung problems. We're going to have all sorts of things happening going forward. But generally, people with a healthy immune system, which means that they are pretty much drug-free people, healthy eating, healthy walking, keeping yourself out there in the vitamin D and everything else like that, you are going to run the minimal risk of actually catching and transmitting the virus, right? Because they've found that this is what the studies have shown, and the people who are asymptomatic people have been, by population density and everything else like that, have been shown not to be transmitters, right? So, we're just going to, it's something we're going to have to live with, unfortunately. But
just like we live with the flu every year.
Just like we live with the flu every year. It'll get to a point where it's like we've got a vector now from England that has a higher transmission rate. It's got a shorter incubation period.
Yeah.
But who else have we got just joined us there? I'm off screen.
Kyle Gwyn Davies.
Kyle.
Hello.
How you doing, Kyle? It's 3
I'm
Jazz.
doing well, yourself?
It's 3 Jazz.
Who you doing, Kyle?
Wait, I just realised we're on the wrong.
well.
We're in the wrong channel. What are we doing? Because you were in this channel this morning, weren't you? Let me just move everybody down to the right channel. Right, now we're on the right channel. Okay, so I'm a bit slack. I wasn't watching what I was doing. Okay, sharing my screen, go live again.
That's never happened before.
Yeah, like that's never happened before. That's because you were in this channel, weren't you? Slacker. I just jumped.
I'm a hanger-on. You can't blame it on the hanger-on.
Yeah. Not that anybody's going to start the music player, but you never know. G'day, 3 Jess. How you doing? Has he got his voice on? And Kyle, so Kyle's a new follower, a new channel follower. He's from England. So what time is it for you at the moment, Kyle?
It is 3:30 a.m. and just a slight correction. I'm from Wales.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. It's a Freudian slip there. Sorry. England. Yeah, no, he's not from England. He's from Wales.
What was Freud from Wales?
No, a Freudian slip. Anyway, I
thought that was where you were watching your mother dress.
Yeah, right. Okay. But yeah, so Kyle's from Wales. We've been having a few chats on the Discord at more appropriate times, like in the afternoons when he's waking up. But he's managed to jump on early in the morning there. He hasn't gone to bed yet. I think he still told me he's still going through some university studies. He's in the IT sector. He's also pro-trans, which is good. So we've been having a few of those discussions lately. That was obviously, he's come and joined since what I mentioned last week. Robert Casso, I need to sleep. Wake in 4 hours for work. Ugh. Look, no swearing. I'm going to put that 4-letter word. I'm going to put that on the banned words list. When you people
Yes,
mention,
yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely, please do.
Please.
That and that and its three-letter brother,
job and work. Put those things in the banned words list. But yeah, okay. What else was there? Court thief apologised to Bangkok convenience store. Sorry, I have a kid. Yeah, so business of COVID-19 will drop during mass inoculations. What's it? The efficiency of COVID-19 vaccine. What's he talking about here? So this guy here, he seems to be outspoken, but he doesn't seem to be tying the WHO guidelines at the moment. What was I looking at? Chinese propaganda flick released about Wuhan lockdown. Oh yeah, okay. 1.5 million Thais approaching poverty line. Yeah, this is more the what's happening. This is what we've got to deal with here in Thailand. Is Thais aren't rich people. Generally the blue collar sector and the even I wouldn't even call blue collar. That's sort of people actually have regular jobs. The what they call the unregistered workforce here in Thailand is about sort of 6 million or something like that. That's the people who work in these market stalls and street stalls and things like that. They're what they call they're the unregistered sector. Those and like go on.
So that's like Thai rednecks.
Well, no. I think that's really not the right way to describe them, because rednecks has a connotation of people who are thick as a brick. But these are hard-working Thais, and I would even say mother is in that sector as well. With her sewing, with her little sewing bee downstairs. They're intelligent Thais. They're not rednecks, but they're a part of the workforce that is not registered with the government, right? And there's something like there's like 4 or 5 million Thais, right, that sit in that workforce, and they're also struggling. Well, when we had lockdowns last May, when they did the first lockdown, that was for 5 weeks or 6 weeks, because everything was shut. The market stalls weren't open, so within 3 weeks, mother found that she had no work, so she was affected as well. And that, they basically that the money they make week to week, that is basically that's their weekly spending money. They don't have nest eggs, right? They don't have they don't have social security. They're not even eligible for the social security system here in Thailand. These are the people who are already hurting. And right now we've had I think what I was looking for was what got unlocked. But really, the Thais are hurting quite badly. Not only is it the tourist sector, there's just all the follow-ons that are sort of really starting to sort of feel a major hurt now, because we've had this this lockdown here, or not, it was a partial lockdown. I was trying to actually find where the lockdown is, where they'd actually talk about that. Tourism, world business. Do they have a tourism tech? Thailand, Phuket, Bangkok. Hot news. The news and updates. Let's see if we can filter that. Supercomputer. They were talking about what got. This happened the day ago. I should have actually saved the article. But we've had. That's 9 months ago. Come on. Popular 5 days ago. No, I want. we're not sort of seeing anything with lockdowns. Thailand. This trouble with the Thailand, like trying to find something. Do they have a search button? No, they do. Lockdown. Oh, come on. Three weeks ago, 17 hours ago, 2 weeks ago. No, so we're not really getting the updates of the latest news and that one. I'd have to go find it somewhere else. But yeah, so there's they've the basic last 48 hours. I think there might be sort of. I know where I can find it. It'll be on my line. Hold on, bear with me. Let me show my line. Right. Pretty sure that was somebody posted it here online the other day. No. Oh my God. I know I posted it on my Twitter, but my Twitter was 2 or 3 days ago. I'd have to go through my Twitter feed. But anyway, so such is life. I won't be able to find the particular article right now because I wasn't prepared to show that article. But yeah, so we've why can't we scroll down to the end of this thing here and show more? But it doesn't want to do that for some reason.
Sounds like a personal problem to me.
Yeah. Don't miss. It's just this sort of thing. So I'd have to go back to 2 days. That's 2 days ago. That's the latest news.
What was the article talking about?
I was talking about what was being opened up. Was it on Bangkok
I'll see
Post?
if I can stalk it.
Bangkok Post, yes, Bangkok Post. Auto life learning video more. And the big C's, political, king, general, older folk. Load more. COVID-19 spokesman in quarantine first negative test. New cases.
2 days ago, Nakhon Phanom village is under COVID lockdown.
Yeah, I was looking for the curb. Oh, there it is. Yeah, curbs lifted for 13 business types. So, what was it? That was what I was looking for. I was looking for this picture. Right, so up until yesterday, I think it was, everything on that list there was locked down. Game arcades, internet shops, care centres for the elderly, competition venues without spectators, party venues where attendees eat from food set boxes, like what they call smorgasbord, sort of bistro. Excuse me. Buddha amulet centres. I don't even know how how many people would actually go to a Buddha amulet. I mean, maybe they're very busy places. Crowds are banned. Beauty and tattoo salons. Surfaces must be cleaned, but they were in sort of in Chanya's case, she could only have one person in the salon at a time. If the second person came along, they'd have to sit outside, which meant the fact that what they would do, people wouldn't sit outside in the hot weather, even though it's cool weather. They still don't like sitting outside, even though Chanya's got a nice little fountain, a nice little sitting area where people can sit, right? They would prefer not to sit and wait. They would then go and find another one that they didn't have to wait for. So that's what you do. So business has been dropped down. Of course, the other side is businesses. Probably over half of her business is from the university, which is open pretty much all year round, apart from the end of year break. But their university has been closed as well. So, in saying that, that's her clientele, because Chanya does all these fancy hairstyles, the double layer colours and the straightening techniques and all the things that the younger girls like. That's what they like, and she's very good at it, and she charges a very good price, and she does a very good job. So her business has dropped by more than half in the last 4 weeks. So it's not until the schools open up and we'll see a rise in that sort of number again. Fitness clubs, spas, spa and Thai massage parlours, they're being closed because I've really had a shoulder problem for the last few weeks. So I really want to go and get a good, deep deep tissue massage. Hopefully we can do that next week.
They're letting those open, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
You just have to wear face masks.
That's right. I just got to go in and do that.
It's the soapy massage parlor.
That's right. But that's in the still close. Boxing training camps, bowling and skating centres, dancing schools, and martial arts schools. So they're now being open, but they were previously shut. The things that are still shut, of course, the bars, pubs, bars, and similar entertainment places, children's playgrounds and amusement parks at markets. I should have gone up to see if that thing up on the top of the mall was open. The swimming, they call the Fantasia, which is a swimming park. Boxing stadiums, snooker and billiard clubs, race courses, cockfighting rings and practice grounds. I didn't even realise, but cockfighting is a legal pastime here in Thailand. I thought it was banned worldwide. But this is Thailand, of course. Places for bullfighting. I didn't even think they had bullfighting here in Thailand, but there you go. Fish fighting and the like. Fish fighting, whatever that is, I've got no idea. Daycare centres. So they got. Didn't they have daycare centres on this side? Okay, daycare centres are still closed. Bathing parlours. I'm not sure what they mean by a bathing parlour, but yeah, they've got soapy massage parlours there. That also includes happy ending massage parlours, if you know what I mean. Nurseries, water parks. Okay, water parks are still closed. All schools and education institutes. Right, so they're not looking. Schools don't look like opening until maybe first or second week in February. So that's when things will get back to normal for Chanya. But I also believe that there was that they had end of January exams. Don't they have end of January exams for the universities? I'm not quite sure on that one. But yeah, so that's what we've got coming up. Yeah. Anyway, soapies or Turkish bars. Yeah, I guess that would be one thing. Mr. Mitch, g'day, how you doing? And Chugsy, I got some new names there. Frankishak at Bankay. Okay, another new name I'm not familiar with. Henry Veltz, how you doing? Also got Blue Zinky's joined us there in the chat. Good to see the Blue involved again. How's things going down in Singapore, Blue? You can always pop on and tell us how the Singapore scene's hanging out. He's in the travel industry over there. Mr. SR, I like NordVPN for what it's worth, reasonable price and good connections. Yeah, NordVPN's one of the better ones that are around there. There's some cheap ones out. But 3Jazz, yes, I use if I go to my web page, then I can get the link, of course. So the DIA, go to my web page, and I recommend you use this one, ExpressVPN, right? And when you use that, refer a friend. That's my campaign ID. You get the first 30 days free. I get 30 days free. It's like the little gimme hit back, come back. But I've been using ExpressVPN for over 5 years. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with the performance and speed. I think when they've done a global test, ExpressVPN is probably the top of the list for reliability and speed and performance, but it's also probably the most expensive. But yeah, there is a link there on my page, right? You can click on that, and we both get a month free. So you can use that as well, and that's always good. That's they saved me $7 for that month or something like that. It's just like buy me a coffee. Yeah, there you go. Buy me a coffee. Where are we? I should put those links up, shouldn't I? God, I'm slacker. See, Stephen Monash used to do this for me, you know. So there we go. So link number one. If you want to come on and chat, there is the link to Discord. And of course I've got to go back there. I've also got a link to this one here. Some people have used this one, so again I'll plug it. I'll plug it out there, which is the shout me a Red Bull smoothie on that page. What else we got? We've got I noticed Tokyo Drew was publishing his page there on Streamlabs, because we use Streamlabs, so I do have an account with Streamlabs. You can always again, Streamlabs gives, you know, like shout me a coffee in Streamlabs. They don't take so much of a cut as other places, like the Super Chat. They, you know, YouTube take a 30% cut. Patreon take a 10% cut. These ones here sort of pretty much don't take much of a cut at all. So you know, but it happens. If you're not familiar with my Patreon, where we go, I've got to find the page again. You know, you're always welcome to, you know, a Patreon. You can subscribe, or you can do a one-time Patreon payment as well through there. And of course, what else? There's the good old favourite, which is dropping directly in to Mr. Tab again, and dropping directly in onto PayPal and hitting up the PayPal donation tab, which is also there on my webpage as well. You'll sort of see it down there. You can click on the donate button there. It's all on my webpage. Anyway, enough of the promotional material. Let's get back to talking to our audience for a change. Okay, so well, we've done what? We've done 50 minutes of news. What else do we want to talk about? Sean Mark, I know even the Thais that had regular office but now low-paying jobs. Well, that's the thing. A lot of Thai businesses have also cut their workers' hours, or they've kept them on through salary reductions. So it's, you know, like everybody has been affected here in Thailand, and I'm pretty sure everybody across the world has been affected. The only way that things are going to get back to normal again is to, you know, just suffer the consequences and get back to normal, right? They can be mitigated with these viral vector vaccines, but you know, unfortunately, we are never ever going to get rid of it, right? There's just no way. The virus, right? I'll be quite honest with you. I've got a viral vector in my body, which is the cold sore. You know, the thing that you get when you get the cold sores. Mind you, I haven't had a cold sore in over 5 years, or ever since I've come to Thailand, I have not had a cold sore, which is, it's an interesting thing. Like, I don't know whether where does the cold sore vector come from? It always seemed to be sort of, they called it a cold sore because it came through the winter times, you know, winter months. But sometimes I'd get a cold sore. I think it's the herpes simplex they call it, isn't it? A cold sore could develop at any time throughout the year, and I used to get the little white blisters on my lip, but I haven't had that for 5 years. But it's a viral vector. You know, there's no way to get rid of it. Once you've got that vector, then that's it. You've got that vector, and it was basically spread by kissing somebody with the vector. You know, and I was pretty much a free-loving, free-kissing person in my younger years, and that's what happens. You know, I played the field when I was young. But yes, viral vectors, viruses cannot be removed They are in ipso facto, they are a part of us as life stands, you know.
I don't know about how Thailand does it, but I think it'll be something like the UK, where you have a vaccine like every Christmas for it, and they'll just always change the vaccine.
Yeah, they'll be modifying it. You know, well, as the microRNA vaccines, they look the most promising because it's teaching the body to recognise the spike protein, right? Which means the virus will actually have to change its basic genetic makeup for it to infect those hosts. But it's only only those people that have that that immune response. But unfortunately, that the virus can still be in your body, and you can still carry it. It's just not entering your body, right? So like if you touch the surface, right, and then touch another surface, you've just transmitted that virus just by a surface touch, right? And this is what happens. That those viruses can stay live on surfaces for 6 to 8 hours, longer in the colder climates. I think the vector itself has been shown to die in the heat or the high heat and humidity in Thailand. It doesn't have such a heavy life, but this is what we've got to deal with. And I don't think the whole world is not being educated on what viruses do, right? They've been producing false hopes and false promises ever since this started, without focusing on the real factors, the fact that we as a human species are used to, we have viruses in our body, right? It's actually, some of these viruses make our bodies function, right? There are good viral vectors and there are bad viral vectors. This one here is one that causes what they call a pneumonia response as your body tries to fight it off, which eventually kills you. Right, pneumonia, right, has other things. It's a bacterial infection, right? Once the bacteria sets in, but can be treated with antibiotics. But this particular vector it causes an inflammatory response, right? So you have to take anti-inflammatories, along with the thing that kills, that gets rid of pneumonia. Look, I'm no virologist. I just know enough about it to really sort of do myself, a bit of peace of mind. But ultimately, don't touch surfaces. Don't transmit it. If you get sick, isolate. These are the sort of things you got to do. Once your body is used to it, and hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have enough vaccines and certain herd immunity where everybody's used to the damn thing, then we don't have to worry about this shit. And all we have to worry about it is like we do every year. Have you had your flu vaccine? What we're worried about more to the point is, what's going to happen, for the ongoing years. Is this a political tool? And this is what we've got to watch out for, right? I think there's been way too much hype over the last 12 months about the virus. If it was attacked as, like, this is another virus. It has similar properties to the flu, right? We don't have a vaccine, right? And it spreads. It spreads more rapidly. Well, not so much more spreads more rapidly. It spreads because it has a longer incubation period and a longer what they call immune response, which moves the R naught up to 2.5 to 3.0. Right, which means that fact that for the period of time that you are a carrier of the virus before it's actually in your body and you've got the virus, right, you could spread that to 3 other people, right? Then again, you've got the flu virus, right? The flu virus has an R naught of 0.9, which means for every person who gets the virus, 1.9 people get it, and so it basically is a diminishing return. But then again, we have the idiots who pretend to sort of, the reason why the flu does its rounds so virulently every year is you get the diehards who, like me, I would probably be a carrier because I have a high immunity to influenza, right? Whenever I did succumb to the influenza virus, I would, it would more than likely sort of, hit me as a sinus attack. where my sinuses would block up, I'd get a sore throat. But after 24 hours, right, just in what I would do, my normal preparatory sort of thing for when I got that, I'd be up and running again and back to work. But I'm still probably a carrier. I'm probably one of the worst of the thing because there was the work needed to be done, and I wouldn't take the time off work because I'm not really being affected for it. I had zero effect. I took a day off and I'm back to work the next day. Well, not only that, is the fact that they want you to go to the doctor and get a doctor's certificate. I got the frickin' flu. I don't need any medicine for it. It's a virus. You cannot remove the virus. All you can do is take anti-inflammatories, right? And soldier on. That was one of the catchphrases for the cordial cold and flu tablets. Soldier on, soldier on. And you were indoctrinated in this. Got to get out there and get back into the workforce. But all you're doing is bloody spreading it through the workforce. At least we've had a different sort of thinking process. Let's not spread it through the workforce for this one, even though you might have come in contact with it. The real problem is the fact that you can be asymptomatic, right? Although they've seemed to have proven that the asymptomatic carriers don't spread it, there is that borderline between the asymptomatic people and the people who have slight symptoms. Right, they might have a runny nose or they might have a sore throat, and this is what I sort of said, last March. I came down with something which, I know what my normal sinusitis would produce, right, on a yearly basis. I've been used to it for the previous 3 years of what effects that I would get, but I had some different effects for this particular period of time, which hung around for about 2 weeks. I took the usual stuff. I took the what they call the Tiffy, and then the sore throat medicine, right? And there's another one that I have in my drawer here, which is the betadine. So betadine comes in a gargle in Australia. Then betadine here in Thailand comes as a throat spray. So basically that was my normal stuff, and I just made sure I ate more healthy foods, and I got out the sun more and did the normal things, and walked around and exercised and get more vitamin D in my body, but it was something different. It was something that I noticeably had for 2 weeks. Now, I think when I talked to Nick about that, he sort of came to the same conclusion. We felt that we were pretty much in areas in Bangkok where we were highly susceptible to catching it when it was around, and for all we knew, we could have had it. But I wasn't going to go for a test. They wanted, foreigners get charged extra, all right, and then they were going to, basically, if you're a foreigner, they threw you into frickin' quarantine. 2 weeks without internet access, that'd kill me. So I wasn't going anywhere. I just basically, there was something wrong with it. Didn't know what it was. I basically self-isolated. I wore my mask and then got over it. That was it. But such is life. Anyway, let's get back to the large screen. So, anyway, what am I going to do about Jazz? Would you get the vax shot? Well, I'm not going to go and actively pursue, right, being charged 4 times the Thai price to have something jabbed in my arm, and then coming down with an immune response, which is going to make me sick for 2 to 3 days. I'm not going to actively pursue it, right? But if they come round and as I said, you're on the list for a shot, I would first ask, and I have the microRNA version of the vaccine, please. Right, if I've got a choice, right, if I don't have a choice, then if the rest of the family is doing it, it makes sense the fact that if the whole house has it, right, at the same time, then I will have it. Which is, again, this is probably more than likely is what's going to happen as we roll things out. Once Chanya's family comes up on the list, that you are now on the list to be vaccinated, it makes no sense to vaccinate one person in a household. They will have to do it by household, right? Who lives here? Everybody in this household will be vaccinated, right? That's the end of the story. It makes no sense to do it any other way. And of course, if you're a foreigner live in your own apartment building, if they're going to do an apartment building vaccination, then you probably get vaccinated when they do that building. You know, that's the way I see it panning out in the long run. But you know, as I said, it's all up in the air guesswork at the moment. We really don't know what's going on. Sean, what was that? Oh, Joe Elliott, good morning. I had something new in March also after leaving bank, couldn't breathe well. Yes, because you were hanging around with it. You come and joined us for that period last year, didn't you, Sean? So, yeah, so I think you probably got what I got, you know, and what we just don't know what it was. The interesting thing is if you actually go and had an antibody test now, the antibodies stay active for about 6 months that they're seeing, right? You know, I don't know. Is there traces of the fact you've already got an immune response or an antibody in your system? Right? That's the only way to really tell. But again, you know, some of these tests that they're using, testing for antibodies, which then are going to throw you in quarantine. And quite frankly, I've got no intention to go to quarantine whatsoever. Anyway, what else we got? So anyway, what's happening around Thailand this week? As you sort of saw on our YouTube channel, we did, what did we do on our YouTube channel this week? Yeah, so we went out to a restaurant last Sunday. Jeff Dawson, does Thailand charge you for the shot as a foreigner? Well, we've not been offered anything at the moment. There was something came up on our line group. Actually, I'll get that article up on screen, because that was one of the things that was talked about. It's not so much. It's not so much about the vaccine, but to give you a bit more of an insight into the foreigners' plight here in Thailand, which hopefully might sort of answer some of the questions here. Whatever. Foreigners still have to pay more for COVID tests in some hospitals. This was the article came out January the 20th. Let me get out of this. Okay. At least, yes, so there we go. The foreigners still have to pay more for COVID tests in some hospitals. At least 5 hospitals in Bangkok apply a dual pricing policy on their COVID tests. So if you read between the lines, that would almost sort of guarantee the fact that we're going to be charged a foreigner price for the vaccine as well, because the Thai government has bought the vaccine and they will be buying it at a bulk rate to give to the Thais, and the currently what they're sort of saying is going to be administered for free. So the Thai government is going to roll out 50 million doses of this vaccine free of charge to everybody. And as you saw the pricing before, that has a cost. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised if we'll sort of see, you know, that $5 vaccine us being charged $50. Right, the $20 vaccine, I won't be surprised if they're going to charge us $200. It will not surprise me, right? Because the Thai government's not going to even give us for free, and they're going to try to cream it to cover some of their costs. But yeah, that's going to really sort of like, is anybody from Myanmar going to be able to pay those costs? No, they're not. So you've got this whole thing, this whole duality thing that's just really going to be very difficult to administer. But as you can see, we do, as foreigners, get charged. But don't forget, this also includes, the people from Myanmar and Laos and Cambodia who work here as well. Right? It's not like, oh, here's a Farang, here's a white privileged Farang. No, that doesn't happen. It's basically, this goes across the board. If you do not have a Thai ID card, you will get charged dual pricing. And these people from Myanmar do not have a Thai ID card, unless of course they got a false one, But it goes through the test. What's the price of tests here? Public hospitals, the tests are currently 2,200 baht. And same price for foreigners at that particular hospital. There's the Rambuti Hospital, around 2,000 baht for Thais, 3,500 baht for foreigners, and or a 40% disparity. Oh, okay, or a 40% disparity. Okay. Singrai Hospital, I can't even say that name. COVID tests are only available to those with symptoms, travel history, or a high-risk areas, or previous contact with infected. COVID-19 tests run at 5,000 to 6,000 baht, not including doctor's fees. The price for foreigners is an additional 25%. That particular institute, 3,000 baht, same price for both Thais and foreigners. That one, 1,500 baht for Thais and 2,000 baht for foreigners. Reservation necessary. Private hospitals, we see the same thing in private hospitals. 3,500 baht drive-through service, same price for foreigners and Thais. The walk-ins available. Vincenti Hospital, 7,000 baht, 8,500. So like I might sort of give you that link as well. It might be useful so that you can reference it yourself and share it with your friends who might ask. But yeah, so it's quite a comprehensive. This is what we have to deal with here, especially here in Thailand. So whether getting back to the point, will we be charged extra? I have no doubt we'll be charged extra, but it'll depend primarily. I think more likely it's going to be a standing in your society. When they come to the house to do it here, it's more than likely going to be sort of, they're just going to inoculate the whole house, and they're going to sort of they'll have an issue. If I get charged and they don't get charged, I will say something, right? I will make sure I get that on video. I will get a response on video. I'll make it my plight to say this is ridiculous. You're giving the family to do this properly. You have to vaccinate the whole house, right? And they can't deny that's how you have to do that. That's the logical thing to do, right? I'll just make sure the fact that it gets publicised that's what they've done. I don't mind bringing that. That's not bringing Thailand into disrepute. It's just giving it like cold hard facts. The fact that here we have a free vaccine being dished out to Thai people, yet I'm a foreigner living with this Thai family. I'm basically footing the bill, right? Because they're going to charge me for it. And they're going to charge an exorbitant price. I'm just going to make it known. I'm not going to have a big song and dance about it. Just let the system get out there so people can see it. And I'm pretty sure that's going to happen elsewhere. Chanya's right. You chatter way too much. How do you manage to catch your breath between sentences? Well, that's it. I got to take a drink every so often, or I have to go horse. But yeah, I talk a lot. It's actually surprisingly, I only talk a lot where I'm on the actual YouTube, on the live stream. I tend not to talk a lot. You can ask Oggy. When we're gaming, I'm gaming. I don't talk much at all. I'm pretty sure people come to watch the live stream to hear me talk and hear my points of views on everything. Anyway, Roy God, the Thai government, the Thai government did say that private hospitals will be able to vaccinate Farangs for a price, of course. Yes, okay. I haven't actually seen that article to reference it. That was the only article that came up most recently. And again, anything that was said, this is the trouble, we get with everything here in Thailand. This week in Thailand, right? Because this week in Thailand is completely different to last week in Thailand. You're going to have to get used to that. That's why we're going to have weekly live streams. And everybody do it, like the boots on the ground. Nick's got his boots on the ground, and he's got that quite regular now, giving you what's happening, because everything's changes. It's changing so rapidly, and every week is different. You have to stay plugged into them. Should I do more of this every week? Quite frankly, I couldn't bring myself to once a week's enough. But that's the thing. It's very changeable. You've got to stay plugged into these news services and find out what's going on, because they quite often contradict themselves. What was it last week? Last week was the contradiction about that if you were all foreigners, if they wanted to renew their passport or renew their visa, had to have a COVID-19 test to get their renewal. Well, that was quickly reversed because it was false information. But as I said, the news circuit, they quickly jump on things as soon as they see something, and I'm pretty sure they're not doing due diligence to actually find out exactly how true most of this stuff is, right? And it's not until we actually sort of see it pretty much announced in the Gazette and things like that do we know the law is the law. This is what it's like here in Thailand. We don't read Thai, and even the Thais don't read these articles. It's word of mouth. It's something you have to deal with here in Thailand. My video, my latest video, The Secret to Happy Life, can be challenging sometimes here in Thailand, just simply because of the fact that keeping up with what the latest is can be a real sort of, it can put you down. Sometimes you just don't want to open anything. That's it. I don't want to know this week. I'm going to play games this week. I'm not going anywhere this week. I'm just going to play games. Stay out of the news circuit. It's the only way to stay happy, because you start reading this shit. You read another article, opinion on just that published Thailand. What's this one? On Pong's 100-year service to end in November. And you click on that, and you click on the next thing, and you bury yourself in these news articles, and you start to feel really bad. So let's not look at the news. Let's just go back to just looking at me. There we go. Tell us the secret to having a successful 12-year relationship with a Thai trans girl. I want to compare notes. Oh, that's a 2-hour discussion in itself, isn't it, Zexy? One of the things it's a good discussion, but let's move on to it. I think the channel update, it sort of fits in with the discussion. One of the things you'll get to, especially with a trans girl, is the fact that you've got an alpha relationship. These girls have had to deal, depending on when they do transition, but normally they're thinking of a lot before, so they're already being ostracized in society at certain levels, right? So they get a tough skin, right? They're tough. Although they have easy access to the hormones and other things like that, and there's an acceptance in society when they go through transition, they have to brave the initial gauntlet of rejection. Now, Chanya had 3 years of rejection when she was going through her transition, and that gives you a tough skin. So they become very alpha, or the term I like to use is alpha. They don't take no for an answer. They're going to do it because they want to change. It's in their persona. They are going to fight the tough fight. So they have a very strong personality, or we say an alpha personality. And that level of alpha personality is as we get with the male society. You'll get the ones that want to jump in a fight at a moment's notice. You'll get the ones that'll, work hard because that's in their, they're the breadwinner. And then you get the ones that, you also get, males in society who are very passive, and their wife will boss them around. And this is the same we have the trans will do. But ultimately what I'm getting at is most trans, right, from their life path, they have very strong alpha tendencies. They want to be in control. They want to do things. They want to get things done, right? And then you have a male, who is a workaholic. I was a workaholic. I'm very alpha as well, right? It comes through, I'm sure. So you have an alpha relationship. The trick is to let them be alpha, right? But find who's going to be in charge of what, So how have we worked it out? Well, we found what we're good at, right? So when anything that becomes a Thai perspective discussion, I let her take the lead, and whatever she says goes, right? unless of course, she wants to overlap and sort of, international affairs, international ideas, IT, all those sort of things, technology and things like that. I'm ruling the roost, and just listen to, you got that from the discussion or the video I had the other week about the 5 best phones in Thailand and the iPhone crap. Well, I bowed to the pressure, right? But I bowed to the pressure in the fact that I'm not buying you a damn iPhone, right? I'm going to give you the money to buy the best Android phone that suits your needs. Here's 15,000 bahts. But, if you want to buy the iPhone, that's up to you, right? Don't expect me to fix it. Don't expect any help from me. It's your phone. You're the boss of your phone. That's it. End of story. And that's where we leave it. So we have this duality in the relationship, that both of us are in charge of certain areas of relationship, and that's how we've managed to cope over the last 12 years. And because we have that seamless duality now, and it's very, very sort of very much set in stone, we almost never have an argument. The only argument we've got going on at the moment is this one here. Right, now these are your registrations still active. Okay, my bike's coming up for my 2065. I still haven't put the sticker on for 2064 because I haven't ridden it this year. But I've got that one there for my bike. I've got that one there for her bike. I've got another one there for her second bike. Right, but we haven't actually had to do the renewal yet. That comes up in very, very shortly, coming up the renewal, so we'll get the sticker, because the sticker's currently on the bike. But I said to her this week, I said, "Where's the sticker for the Vios?" She said, "I don't know. I gave it to you." "No, you didn't give it to me." Pull out my filing cabinet. We went through it 3 times. See, it's not in my filing cabinet. You did not give me the book, right? I do not have the green book, right? And the green book and the sticker pretty much go in unison, right? So it's almost like it didn't get done when she got the insurance done last year. So it's the 2 insurance, the compulsory insurance, and there's the additional insurance that we run, the fully comprehensive insurance for, if the cars crashes, our car's covered as well. So there's the third-party insurance, which is mandatory in all registrations. That gets done. You pay the license. She says the licensing fee is done, but I can't find the paperwork with it. So it's almost like, because she doesn't do it. She gave it to Uncle, who's a police officer. Got him to do it. Now, this is the thing we're waiting for now. Did he do it properly? Did he not send it back? And oh, God Almighty! So that's a bit of a tension in the air at the moment, because of this. Because basically, there's no sticker on the car. That might be okay for a Thai to jump in their vehicle and drive down the road and go through a checkpoint and have your license plate checked and the number on the sticker. But if I drive the car by myself, right, the first thing that's going to happen, they're going to charge me the 500 baht fine for driving an unlicensed car. Why? Because I'm a farang. That's it, So I basically can't drive the car at the moment. That's what you've got to deal with. So there's been a bit of tension in the air about this thing here. She says that it should be sorted out within the week, right? So, mind you, I don't really drive the car that much. The only time I do drive the car is when we're together. And then, of course, that would mean the fact that, if we did get pulled over, she could explain why there's no sticker on the window, right? Not me, but I would still have to be subject to a fine because I'm a farang, but let her deal with the chatty part, because that's what'll happen. But yeah, I need to go to the shops. I need to go to the shops this afternoon to get some weekly supplies, which I normally take to Vios for, right? So I just said, well, the problem is I can't at the Vios. So now I've got to remove 3 motorcycles out of the driveway to get the Fortuner out, to drive the Fortuner down to the local supermarket. It's frustrating, but these are the sort of things, Sometimes it doesn't matter whether it's trans or not. Sometimes just the Tyness here can get very, very frustrating. And you just have to bite your tongue and shut up and just deal with it, It's not the end of the world. And I think that's the way I deal with most of the things that go wrong. It's not the end of the world. You sort it out, and it'll all get back on track next week, right? But then I'll just go and bury myself in the gaming world for a week, or binge watch some new TV series for a week, and not worry about it, Everything I need here I can get pretty much in this thing. The thing is what they call that head of lettuce. I don't like the more modern style. I like that juicy lettuce. I can't get that in the street. I can only get the fancy lettuces in the street. Or I could satisfy with that. But my diet now is I have a lot of salads. So I need to go down to the shop to get the lettuce. And what else do I not have in the street? The red onion. I don't see the red onions in the street, and I like that in the salad. Celery. I don't see celery in the streets. Right. I've got to go to the Big C supermarket to get their stuff. It's just one of those sort of things. I can make do without it, right, from what I can get in the street markets. But at the moment that's what I'm eating, and I like that sort of stuff. So it's just an inconvenience. Maybe I'll just jump in a taxi. It's only going to cost me 40 baht to get 45 baht to get down there and back. Maybe that's the easier way. Saves getting the damn bloody Fortuna out anyway. And I got to walk down the end of the street anyway to catch the taxi. So works for my exercise. Yeah, so if that's comparable notes, I don't know what else we can compare about, but that's how I deal with things. Yeah, I just keep going. Yes, over here in Robert, over here in Thailand, you believe it when you actually see it. Yeah, 300 baht tourist tax on entry seems official. Yes, that's right, Roy. I could find that article for you. I think that's been fine. Last year it had no chance of getting through. The tourist industries, said no, we can't have that, and now they've been told you're going to have it. Well, we're not going to get the tourist industry back, and they've said they've bowed, that they've conceded the fact that it was a moot point. So there you go. It was only going to be 100 baht, now it's 300 baht. So there you go. If they took the 100 baht last year, maybe we wouldn't have the 300 baht discussion this year. There you go. Excuse me. Mark, so hopefully they will relax the restrictions next month. Roy, I don't sort of see. Not next month is too early. They still can't even have a conversation when they're not arguing about it, let alone sort of seeing any relaxing. Yeah, as Robert says, everything changes weekly here. I'm thinking Alpha is just a Thai wife attitude. Well, look, Sean, I think that's another reason why we see so many Farang relationships break down, because they don't realise the fact that the woman runs the house. That is it. It is Thai. It's a woman's area. The guys have to deal with it, right? Even Thai men, they have to deal with it, right? They usually deal with it by drinking the Samsung and Samsung and other whiskies, the Lao cows. They'd rather just drown their sorrows and be happy than have to deal with the wife, But yeah, the wife rules the house. That's it. They're always right. And a foreigner, they don't know that. When they come here and they strike up a relationship, it's all a bed of roses, for the 2 to 4 weeks while you're here on holiday, because we're not dealing with house. We're dealing with, a fun time. We're dealing with holiday time, or we're dealing with a paid escort version of Thai, what do you call it? Thai friendship. It's a paid escort type friendship relationship. Once they're out of the country, that's it. You're not paying for anything. Next, please. That's just the way it goes, right? But when they go home, they're the boss, right? If they want to introduce you to the family, then you just better make sure you got your checkbook in order and your wallet's securely placed somewhere else until you understand the relationship about Thai household, right? And we've done many videos on that. Should I do more videos on that to explain that? Because I think that's one of the things we tend to overlook when we're getting into the relationship stage. And of course you can't come here now, so those videos don't really get the airplay that they need. But when things start to open up with the tourism, I'm pretty sure I'll get around to making another one of those. You come to Thailand, this is the rules, right? If you come in for 2 weeks and you've got a girl on your arm, guess what? You're not paying her directly as an escort, but she is a paid escort, right? Unless, of course, you've been dating her for 2 to 3 years and you're quite firm that it's a monogamous relationship in your own sort of psyche, right? Guess what? Right, when you're out of the country, she'll be sort of seeing another foreigner. There is no doubt about it, right? That's what happens generally for these types of relationships, right? And it takes years to develop those. Just deal with it. You're probably coming here to Thailand anyway, and you've got a relationship at home anyway, so you don't care, right? But when people start to settle down here in Thailand with their Thai girlfriend, right? Yeah, she's the boss. She's the boss in the house, except when it comes to computers and IT and the things that I'm very much aware of. I complain about the use of certain, electrical, extension cords and things like that. I will actually go out and make a proper extension cord, not this shit that you find in the marketplaces. I'll make good ones. I don't want people getting electrocuted, for crying out loud. And some of the shit you buy in the street, oh God, I wouldn't wish that on an enemy, But this is Thai, Well, that only costs 100 baht. Well, yeah, it costs 100 baht because it's a piece of crap, right? Let's put some decent, 15 amp cable in there with earth leakage, with earth, get the old idea, make sure it's a three cable or three strand, properly earthed, extension cable, not this crap you see out there. Oh my God, they plug an earth, The reason why it has 3 fucking pins on it is the fact that it looks for an earth, right? If you plug it into a board that has the 3 sockets and it's got a 2-strand cable out of it, guess what? Your device is no longer earth. Not in my household, thank you very much. But, I have to I have to argue the point on that because they don't understand, Such is life. Don't worry, I've checked my house, I've checked the wiring in my house, they've got 3-pin plugs on the walls and they all have earth detection. Whether I put earth leakage detection on the circuit board, that'd be something after we move in. I might have to even do that because I worry about things like that. I had earth leakage detection in my house in Australia. It's very good, and I'd highly recommend it to anybody putting electrical in. Anyway, moving along. I certainly do here proclivity to be butch in the street and feminine in the sheets. Yes. Yes, I wasn't going to go that far to explain my intimate life, but yes, when it comes to the bedroom, I am the alpha, if you know what I mean. How is the weight loss going? Okay, so because I've been using the Google app and tracking that, so started at 87 kilos. I'm now 84 and a half. That was the weigh-in this morning, so I've lost 2.5 kilos. I'm feeling a lot better. I don't feel any strain on my daily walks, right? And I'm doing 3 to 5 kilometers a day. The next thing, of course, is bumping that up next month, getting the push bike. I still haven't chosen the push bike. I'm not so much worried about choosing the push bike. What I'm looking for now is the accessories for the push bike, because what I want to do is I want to get like a rig that I can go on bike rides. Right, so I've got the Bluetooth mic which will feed into one camera, and so we'll record the bike ride on the camera from one angle, but I also want to get a second camera going up facing me right, shooting backwards. So that when I do talk on the bike ride, if I'm riding, you'll actually see me in the shot. Now, I don't want to be stopping every 5 minutes to turn the camera around. I want to do a dual camera recording, come back home, splice it all together, and actually make those videos as just ride arounds. And I'm going to probably sort of ride, check out the whole area, to a 5 kilometre radius, from our house here, and just do different things, and give people a bit more of the on the street sort of view. So what I'm looking for now is the rig to move from a handlebar. It needs to go up about maybe 12 to 18 inches in front of me, a bit forward, maybe not too far forward, but then mount the second camera, which is the SJ cam, right? So it needs to mount the camera sort of in front of me, so it's shooting me and behind me. That's what I need to do a rig, and I haven't found a rig for it. That's proving to be the difficult one. There is bicycles are a dime a dozen, but finding the rig to mount my cameras, that's going to be the tricky one. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. So I've still got 10 days till my birthday. Is it? What's the date? The 23rd. 10 days till my birthday. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening there. I will find something. I'm pretty sure I'll find some sort of rig that makes sense. Even have to freaking go and get somebody to make it for me. Anyway, Samsung and Samsung, always a winning combination. Exactly. But yeah, so I do move. I'm moving into bike riding next month. Probably once a week I'll do a ride around video with the cameras all set up and all that sort of stuff. Once I get the rigging sort of set it up. 2 to 4 weeks. Try 24 hours before they're on your case. What was that 20 reference to? On my case? 24 hours, 2 to 4 weeks. Anyway, YouTube just failed with an error message. Did it? I don't know. Is it still running on my stream? It still seems to be streaming here from my point of view. Was it? Oh, okay, so no, that was because it, because it had the word trans in it, didn't it? Fair enough. Probably should have that one showing up on the screen, but anyway. Oh, you mean the 2 to 4 weeks, 24 hours? Yes, okay. Don't know why that was. Why was that being held up? Thai women? Something going weird with. Anyway, yeah, just to make sure the feed was still working. Congratulations to the 7K. Thanks very much to Too Slow. I did read that someone on this forum has 33 years. Must be an exception. No, that's Robert's been together. Robert's been with his girl for 33 years. 32 years married, 33 years together. Very happy. There he is. There it is. A bit lower down. Excuse me. Got a bit of gastric reflux there. Yeah, Robert. That's a good innings, right? Anybody want to know about Thai prison? Well, there you go. Talk to Robert about that one. No, but he loves his wife, and they are in a loving relationship, and I don't think anything could come between them. Thai government maybe, but that wouldn't be the end of the world. They'd just pack up and they'd move back to Australia. How's the house build going along? We'll do another house view check on the 3rd of February. That's our next appointment time to go and pay the monthly instalment to the builders to make sure things continue to move along. We haven't been out there before then. We have we've known we were jumping out there every 2 weeks, but we decided we'll do it every 4 weeks. There's other things to do, so so we'll do the video on the 3rd of February, give you an update. People have been asking about the costs and everything else, so we will recap on the costs in our normal Wednesday lunching date. I keep on saying I don't think it's going to be finished until April, May this year. Let's hope it's finished by May, because that's when we're going to renew our lease here. Hopefully we're going to move in by May. Still haven't got any word back from the bank, but she should have the 20% deposit sorted out by end of March. So if everything goes according to plan. I've told her the fact that, well, she could always sell the motorcycle. That's up to her. You know, she sell her motorcycle. She doesn't ride it anymore. So the CB650. Anybody want to buy a CB650F? It's got very low mileage on it. Left very low kilometres on it. It's got the Davy exhaust. It's also got the legal exhaust. It's got the additional power set up, you know, for running cameras. We're looking for 200,000 baht for that bike. If you want to make us an offer at 2,000 baht, then hit me up and we'll go to the paperwork. But that 200,000 baht will definitely put us over the 20% requirement for the house purchase. But yeah, it's one of those things. I've left it in her hands because the bike's in her name and I can't do much at all. Right, Jeff, there's a different. Is the different treatment of Frangs mostly just a financial thing for the government to collect money and to protect their citizens, or do they feel not fully respected in Thailand as a Farang? Well, and again, Jeff, look, I keep on sort of mentioning this. We keep on looking. You know, there's Farang and there's Farang. And there's multiple levels to it. From an immigration point of view, and all we have to do with the immigration looks at Farang as that 8 million, you know, foreign nationals working in Thailand, right, along with us retirees. And we as retirees to the workforce is a really, really small proportion of that workforce. But unfortunately, we don't have, you know, we might have a retirement visa, but so that's also available to, you know, people from Myanmar and from people to, you know, Laos and Cambodia, but it's all lumbered into this one umbrella system, right? They're trying to close down the gaps so that everybody's fully accounted for. And look at what happens when you don't account for it. This is what happened with Samut Sakon. So there's been a very heavy focus on the illegal workforce that we have to deal with here in Thailand. Right? The money sort of side, I think it's done on a basis of the fact that if you're from Myanmar, right, you also have to pay the extra, you know, Farang service fee, right? Just not because, you know, if you don't have a Thai ID card only, that's what it comes down to. If you do not have your Thai ID card, right, the what they call the Farang pricing accounts. That accounts for people from Myanmar, and that hurts them severely, right? They, you know, they're the ones working on the stalls and making the 300 baht a day, right? And they want to go to a national park, and they're going to pay a day's wages to a national park, right? Guess what? They don't go to national parks, but you know, us foreigners, you know, we're on our visiting rights, you know, and the expats and the tourists. Well, God, it's 300 baht, you know, 400 baht, you know. Is it really going to hurt you to pay $10 to $12 to get to a national park? You know, let's just have a reality check. You know, me, when I get hit with those dual pricing, I just have a flat rule. I just don't tip. You know, normally, you know, if I see good service at a restaurant in one of those places that I've had to pay dual pricing, right? Well, anywhere I go, I tend to tip someone, if I've had good service. If I don't get good service, I don't tip. And if I've had to wait, 20 minutes for the last dish or 20 minutes, we've finished those other 2 plates of food, right? This one here took 20 minutes longer. Sorry, that's not how you serve food. No tip for these people, That's the sort of way I treat it. But if I go to a dual pricing, right, and I've had great service, sorry, I paid my tip at the door. And I've had that policy ever since I've come to Thailand. It keeps me happy in my own skin, right? But I also recommend that's the way you look at it, right? If you like to tip when you had good service, when you go to places and things like that, then tip. But if you get hit with a dual pricing, then just have a flat rule. Don't tip them, right? Let the Thais deal with it. If we stop seeing tips being dished out inside these places that have dual pricing, guess what? The dual pricing would soon stop, because they would tell the management the dual pricing is affecting our business. And I'm pretty sure it's affecting their business because the tourists aren't there anyway, but that's the way it is. Smoke up and smell the roses. Let Thais deal with the Thai shit, right? It's only $10, or $5 or something. You don't have to worry about it, but that's it. That's my tip gone, I got it also, just refresh the page, that can happen from time to time, depending on locales, but I would be plugged in, I guess, to the Thai circuit, so I'm seeing the live feed, although it's 15 seconds delayed, it's coming out of the repositor, when it goes to the Google, it goes gives on one end, it's restreamed out there, and then of course there's an extra restream going further on, and so on and so forth, to other locations around the world. It's not like when you guys watch it, this stream, there can be, like, there's Jeff Dawson. Thanks, Jeff. That could take 30 seconds to go through, right? Because the chat feed is instantaneous global, right? But then it has to go and reposit depending on which service entry point you are within the Google Cloud. Could take 20 to 30 seconds, and that could also shut down, and get the whole idea. It's just one of those sort of things. There we go. Get the little jingle. There we go. Not to forget our little jingle from Jeff Dawson. Thanks very much. And we're 1/4 to the hour, so we've got to start to think about wrapping things up. It looks like everybody else has passed on from the Discord. I guess they're all... I know Oggie's gone to sleep. 3 Jazz has wandered away. I think he had to go and do something, didn't he? Right. What was I looking for? If you are all legal, have finances in order, nothing to worry about in Thailand. Will always be a question. We will always be guests in as other countries you visit. Just respect their rules and customs. Yeah, exactly, William. We are guests of guests of this place, and once you're happy in your skin, right, and our check boxes are our check boxes. I know Chuck did a video last week. His visa extension denied. Look, what Chuck does with the clickbait, it's up to Chuck to do that sort of stuff. No, he didn't get. He went to do his renewal. He had to do extra work for his renewal, but he wasn't denied, right? But again, it comes down to the way the financial side of things, and he's with Bangkok Bank, and the Bangkok Bank don't do 12-month statements and things like that. And his bank book was out of date and all that sort of stuff. I actually just went in to see Cassicon Bank, and my Cassicon Bank will not update your bank book like that. The Cassicon Bank will only do 20 entries, right? If any more than 20 entries, or any more than a page of entries, or 1 page turn of your bank book, basically the machine can't do it, right? It's just not in their computer program. So the bank book that you show at the immigration is pointless, All you can get is you basically get an update, get your bank book updated. That's how much is in your bank book right now for the day. They can confirm that. That's all they can confirm, but they can't see a side-by-side transactions. But at least Cassicon Bank will issue a 12-month statement. So that's all good for us. We're happy with the whole 12-month statement. Right, and if there's any gap in that 12-month statement, I did update my bank book at the end of that month, so it had actually those transactions for that first part of the month that might miss out in a 12-month statement sort of view, right? So that'll be good. But yeah, keep all those things. The right time of visa is really the easiest, but the banking side, because this archaic rules in the immigration where they want to see the letter of authority from the bank, they want to see a 12-month statement from the bank showing all transactions to make sure the fact that you're complying with the 800,000 baht in that bank, right, up until for the 3 months after and the 3 months beforehand, right. As long as that complies, you should have no worries whatsoever. But as I said, I think Joe's problem is the fact that he puts money in monthly, so he had to do extra running around because he had to get a statement of where that money was coming from, right? Because the money's going in and going out. They just see money coming in, going out. Where's the money going? Where's the money coming from, right? Because there are these services out there. There are these services that will falsify those records for you, right? They want to see it coming internationally, right? Because that's what they do with some of these chunky visa renewal services. They start putting the money in your bank account, right? And then they take the money back out again just to comply so that you can see that there's been money in your bank accounts. And that's how they get around this shit. Money in, money out, going to the next person, going transfer to transfer. Yeah, so you have to, that's one of the new rules. If you've got the 800,000 baht in the bank or more, as I'm like Chuck, I keep 1 million baht as a minimum balance in that account. It's just better than 800,000. That's all. It gives you a 200,000 cushion if I have a problem with banking, and it gives me a couple of months to get it sorted out. So deal with it. Be prepared. What else we got? I'm here, mate. Just calling for calling for a pisser. Okay. Same in New South Wales. We have to pay to enter most national parks. Yeah. So again, I don't know why Australians would worry about paying a national park fee here. You go down to Threadbow, I'd have to pay that fee every two. Of course, I got the national park sticker on the window. I actually paid the yearly subscription for the national park, so I didn't have to pay at the gate. But you go to Bob and Head, you'd have to pay $5 at the gate for Bob and Head, and that's, that national park's nothing to look at. The trouble is, people are quoted, well, this is Thailand, I shouldn't have to pay $5 to the national park in Thailand, I paid that in Australia. Well, just wake up and smell the roses. Nothing is free, exactly. Nothing is free, no matter what country you live in. Richie Kingston, congratulations on your 12 years. Yes, well, I love her to death. She's the spark in my life. The alindrial flame of whatever, she's my brightness. Look at the fact that, I turned 60 in 2 weeks. Oh my God. Thankfully I don't look it. She does want me to go and get Botox on these little creases in my eyes. But I don't know. I really don't think I really want to do any Botox treatment. I think that just gives character. They're little lines and characters. Of course, I'm zoomed in, so you don't really see it that much. But you've seen it in other videos, I could do with a whole facelift, what they call the laser dermal treatment, to get rid of the splotchiness a little bit. See if I can make it more uniform. But that costs money. I believe those places are shut right now. But she does. She wants me to go and This is one of those things about Thais. She is the fashion queen. She's the beauty queen. She wants a boyfriend being the best he can be as well. Another thing, we got an engagement party on the 31st of January, sort of someplace, and then she's just now hit me up with the fact that when we're going to have our engagement party, and because it's something we haven't done, because I gave her the ring 5 years ago, but I was only on a 2-week holiday when I gave her the ring, so we really had no time to plan the engagement party. Now she's hitting up for the engagement party. So what I've sort of said, when we got the house, we'll have a housewarming and engagement party all in one, and she's happy with that. So there you go. So that's that maybe May we'll have a housewarming and engagement party, make it all official, right? That we're together. The whole thing should go well. So. Yeah, William, yeah, most places if you show your Thai driver's license, I tend to either use the driver's license or my foreign ID card, and certain places that that I've gone to have sort of said, yeah, okay, so you live here. But again, national parks, there is a rule. National parks are like the exception to that rule because they're government owned. But generally, sort of, getting one of those ID cards or even a driver's license can be a bit of a tricky bait. That clickbait stuff is tiresome. Why would a content creator want to do that to their audience? Well, again, it's just these are the rules. Right? If you've been following the channel for any length of time, okay, I might put Chanya in the video, but I always take a shot from within the video, right? Or if I've taken a shot with the camera, I'll use the camera shot. It's always locale specific. I don't make it up. And I think Chanya won the lottery. I didn't mention the fact she gave all that money to mother. I didn't make that the point of the video, but she won the lottery. She picked the numbers. She won the lottery. That lottery money went to the house. So of course we got dinner out of it, but the rest of it just went to the house, right? That's what Thais do. This is a Thai thing, but I made it a bit clickbaity with the little dollar sign. Chanya won the lottery. Well, I wasn't telling a lie. She won the lottery, but then she gave the money away, and that's the sort of thing. That's the sort of person Chanya is. Family comes first. Yeah, and as I said, people sort of sometimes, I get a few naysayers, well, you're monetised on this YouTube channel. Yes, I'm monetised on this YouTube channel. I get these little donations from people. Where does it go? It goes to Chanya. How do you think she gets new dresses all the time? Come on. Haven't you worked it out yet? Yeah, I have my expenses. My expenses have lessened over the last 12 months because we don't go out so much. But we still manage to keep Chanya happy. She still gets new dresses. She still gets some makeup and all that sort of stuff. And I keep my girl. I get my girl. She's my queen. I take care of her. And these contributions and the YouTube and the Patreon and all that other stuff, it all goes to her. In not as a monetary value, but it keeps all the trinkets, going. That's just what you do in relationships, right? And as it increases, well, I may sort of find myself down the track pulling less money out of my investments and my holdings, right? As we move down the track, right? But at the moment, it just keeps everything running smoothly. You guys keep her in dresses and makeup and all that sort of shit, Haven't you worked that out? The more you do it, the more dresses she gets. It doesn't go in my pocket. Well, it goes in my pocket, but it gets indirectly goes straight to her. But anyway, I'm pretty sure you worked that shit out by now anyway. That's why when the naysayers get on their freaking little high horse, I just laugh at them. Yeah, right. You don't know how it works here in Thailand, do you? You got no idea. Paul and said, "I don't look a day over 59." Hey, you want to get banned? Visiting one temple in Japan is going close to $10 anyway. Those cheap chalies are pretty tedious. Maintaining all that isn't easy. Yeah, I know. Well, but again, it's nice to know that there are ways and means to get around some of these additional costs we got. It's nice to know them, but you know, when you look at how easy life is here, and one of the best ways to have a stress-free and happy life, happy wife, right? Just don't let this shit worry you. One of the I should have put that in the secrets to the happy life video, but yeah, just don't let it get you down. You don't have to. You know, we often forget the things that we don't have to deal with, like the ever-present police force in Australia. You're changing lanes without indicating. Come on, get a life, will you? You know, you didn't stop for 5 seconds at that stop sign. We're going to book you for not stopping at a stuff. That was a rolling stop. You didn't actually physically stop. What the frick is that shit all about? Why happened to me? I got pulled. I got a not stopping at a stop sign in the back streets of St Ives. Right, actually, North Warringah, St Ives area, right, very upper class, because I didn't put my feet down on my motorcycle. I stopped. I can balance my motorcycle for 3 to 4 seconds in a stop position, stationary, right? I do know how to ride a motorcycle, but I didn't put my foot on the ground, right? Because I didn't put my foot on the ground, I got a fine for not stopping at a stop sign. Who knew that was a freaking law? You know, come on! You think Australia's free? Australia is not free. You won't appreciate the freedom you get here when you come to live in Thailand. You know, just to be yourself and do the things. As long as you don't hurt anybody else, you are free to be yourself. Right? Just don't be an arsehole. You know, don't be a dick. That'll get you out of the country very quickly. But yeah, I think we made a video about that one. Yeah, the administration of the parks is around $1 fee. Excuse me. Oh, I've got gas today. Anyway, I need to go for a walk. That's what I'm. Maybe my body's telling me I haven't done my 10 a.m. walk. Often when paying entry fee for the upkeep of maintenance, etc., and its wages and staff, yeah, that's usually what it covers. The wheels of progress always need to be greased. That's exactly right. Time in Thailand is like a 50-pound weight being taken off your shoulders compared to the freaky Eye of Sauron. Oh God, that is such a perfect example. The Eye of Sauron. Considering I just watched that bloody video. The ever-present eye, right? Yeah, you do feel like that in the West. Australia, you do feel it in Australia. Somebody, he's cutting his lawn. Look, he didn't do his edges. Oh, we're not going to talk to him. He's done his edges. What the? You get that shit in Australia. What the hell is that? Your neighbours get on your case. Fuck off. Really. And what's the saying? 2 rules for the stress-free life. Don't sweat the little shit. Rule number 2, everything is little shit. So right. Actually, I'm going to copy that. That might go in my little rules. Where is it? I got to find that one there. 2 rules of life. Care of Mr. Mitch. Control C. Let me just put it up in a little notepad somewhere so I don't lose it. And paste that. That is going to go on my Facebook sayings. If I say a good one, I like that one. I really do like that one. We're going to have to make another video, don't you? The rules of a stress-free life. Rule number 1, don't sweat the little shit. 2, rule everything is little shit. Got a fine for exactly the same issue on my bike, did you? Freaking hell. So I'm not just the only person. I'm pretty sure that they look for it. They can be breaking into your house, robbing you blind, right? But they'd prefer to out there is to book you for not putting your feet down when you stop at a stop sign. Really. Best to try to go with the flow and try not to rock the boat. Yeah, well, there's not many boats to be rocked out here as well. So, time to go. Yeah, look, thanks for dropping in, guys. It's just gone the 12 o'clock mark, so we've got to get out of here. Cheers, everybody. I know there's probably another live stream starting very short somewhere. Copying my other one about the threat of Bart Fee. That's too specific. No, but that's rules of life here. I like that one. That's going to go up on my wall. Anyway. Thanks again for joining us. Let me see if I can find the closing screen. We're going to get out of here and leave you to a pleasant day, pleasant night, or whatever you guys are doing. Stay safe, be cool, and we'll see you next week.